Hey everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm your host Stephanie Pelley, and we're Atlantic Canada's only video game show. We are the Game Code, and if it's going on in the video game industry, then we're bringing it to you. And if it has anything to do with gaming in the Atlantic provinces, you can bet we're bringing it to you. Here's what we've got coming up. We're heading back to visit with our favorite vintage game collector, John Painter, who's going to give us a scoop on some of Nintendo's less than stellar retro products. You know what we're talking about. A Super Bowl party with video games? A great combination. We head down to the Cunard Centre to check out Halifax's first tailgate party that was kicked up a notch with a Madden NFL 13 tournament on site. And it looks like we're on a zombie roll at the Game Code. Mike takes a look at Zombie U, our first Wii U game review. Did we like it as much as The Walking Dead? Stick around to find out. But first, as you may have noticed on our Facebook page, we have decided to participate in 4 in February. This is something we first heard about on Kotaku, and we think it's a great idea. As gamers, we're the victim of the never finish it's, where we start or intend to start a game, but it never quite works out. With 4 in February, gamers commit to playing and completing 4 games in the month. Not the easiest of challenges when you consider that February is the shortest month of the year, but hey, a challenge like this was made for our Canadian winters. Wouldn't we all rather be nice and warm inside playing the latest Dead Space? We decided to take it to the next level, though, at the Game Code, and we made it a participation event. Myself and Game Code staff, Mike and Ian, have decided that we would all have a crack at this, but we would also help each other out. Each of us selected 2 games to play for ourselves, but left the remaining 2 choices to the other 2 to complete a list of our 4 games that we will vow to finish this month. So let's take a minute to explain and potentially defend the games we chose and why we've decided to either punish or reward each other with our choices. All right, my first pick is Torchlight 2, and I'll tell you why. According to the official rules of 4 in February, you are allowed to choose a game that you are already halfway through. And I tapped out of Torchlight 2 a few weeks ago. There was a couple of mobile games that I wanted to play, and I'm now using this as motivation to get back into it and ultimately try to finish it. So Torchlight 2 will be finished this month.
When this first came up, my first impression was, you know what, I'm gonna play Al Shaddai. And this is one of those games where I sort of have to preface it with, anyone that really knows me knows that I will waste a lot of their time talking about some really inane stuff. And Al Shaddai is one of those games that intrigues me for that reason. It's based off of ancient Judeo-Christian texts. And it's about the story of Enoch, who was ascribed to the gods. And there's a couple things that actually interest me about this game. It has fantastic art style, and it's one of those games that always comes up when people are talking about video games as art. The second, the combat system is all based off of one button. I think that's totally awesome, and I'm probably about 5 hours in so far, so I really think it's going to be a lot of fun.
So my first pick for the 4 in February is the latest in Devil May Cry series. I'm a pretty big fan of the series since its original release on PlayStation 2, and this is my favorite hack and slash game by far. Not only that, but a brand new developer is taking care of the game, with quite a bit of controversy surrounding the game already. So there is absolutely no way I'm going to miss this.
My second pick is To the Moon, and this game was gifted to me a few months ago by a friend who knows how much I love the old Super Nintendo RPGs. This is also an indie game. Torchlight 2 is an indie game as well, but I actually played this game for about an hour and cried probably 5 times in the first hour of the game. It is emotionally heart-wrenching. So this time around, I might just sit down for a few hours, get a bottle of Jack Daniels, render myself emotionally numb just to get this one finished.
My second pick is Dead Space 3. I follow the Dead Space series pretty damn close, and I've read most of the graphic novels, played virtually every single mobile game, and again, just like with DMC, the latest in the series seems to have some controversy surrounding the game, with microtransactions appearing in a single-player game. Finally, this is also the first game in the series that will feature co-op play, and I'm very excited to see the result of that.
For my second choice, I picked the 3rd Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eater. Now, when I was, I can't remember if it's elementary or junior high, when I first played the Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation, man, that was so much fun, and there was so much awesome in that game. You would have to switch the second controller so you could beat the psychic boss. Just total ridiculousness. It was a lot of fun, and I was so excited to play the second one. I didn't have a PS2 myself, but every time I went over to my buddy's place, I'd always rent that game. I really sort of fell out of favor with it though. The second one didn't hold me as much. And when my girlfriend was nice enough to give me a PS3 for my birthday, the first game that I picked up was Metal Gear Solid 4. Little disappointed, to be quite honest, but I feel like I owe it to elementary school Michael to go back and finish the story and finish this game.
Now, for Stephanie, I've got to admit, I really wanted to ruin her life and pick Dark Souls for her, but I don't think we could provide her an adequate supply of controllers to replace the ones she's going to break with Fury and Rage, so instead I decided to pick something more calm but still challenging. With Stephanie, you'll be playing Portal 1. I'm also secretly hoping that Stephanie will love the game and get Portal 2 after.
Now, Stephanie, she's not quite into the esports scene yet, and it's really hard for me to give her a game like League of Legends or Dota to get her involved in it. So I thought, you know what, let's give her StarCraft 2, the single-player campaign. It's a great story, and I know Stephanie's already a Blizzard fan, but Stephanie is the wrong kind of Blizzard fan. Her favorite game is WoW, and let's be honest, saying that your favorite Blizzard game is WoW is like saying that Godfather 3 was the best Godfather movie. She needs to upgrade, and I think this is going to be a big step forward.
Mike made the mistake of telling me which game he was going to pick for me, so as revenge for throwing me into the world of StarCraft, I have chosen for him Super Meat Boy, and I imagine there will be a lot of rage quits before he finishes this one.
For Mike, I chose Alan Wake. For once, I know that Mike appreciates a good story in a game. I also know that Mike likes writing, and he also enjoys philosophy. So picking a game that is essentially a combination of all the above is probably the best strategy you could pick in getting a good game for him. Not only that, but I absolutely love the game, and I personally feel like the game did not get as much attention as it deserves, and it went completely under the radar for most of us. So Mike, get ready. After playing this game, you will never look at the flashlight the same way again.
Now, for Ian, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I hate Ian. I don't actually, but if I were going to write a story about how to make your friends hate you, I would recommend Antichamber to them. This game is like being in MC Escher's head on an acid trip. He is going to go nuts. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even know if the game finishes. So with this suggestion, I also provided Advil and malt liquor for Ian.
For Ian, I have chosen Journey. And I played this game over Christmas, and it was by far the best game I played in 2012. And the good news is that the average play time is only about maybe 3 or 4 hours, but Ian's a noob, so it'll probably take him 6. Now, we want you to participate too. If you haven't already, check us out on Facebook and comment on our post about what games you want to commit to finishing this month. Or hit us up on Twitter. And once you've finished a game, post a screenshot to let everyone know how you're coming along. And we may even share it on a future episode. We're here at the ORegans Tailgate party for Super Bowl 47. Now, when people say, are you ready for the big game to us? We're usually thinking about our next Counter-Strike match or maybe a tournament on Twitch. But whether or not you're a fan of the NFL, there's always something for you on Super Bowl day, whether it's hanging out and partying with friends, eating some great food. You can find all of that at the ORegans Tailgate today. Plus, an extra special thing for gamers, we've got a Madden 2013 tournament going on as well. So let's check out the event. All right, we're here with Aaron Legg from Sports and Entertainment Atlantic. Aaron, nice to see you.
Thank you, you too.
Tell us a little bit about the tailgate. What made you want to get this, pull this together for football fans today?
Certainly. We were discussing, I think it was late October, early November, trying to think of a great event idea for sometime in late January, early February, and the first thing that came to mind was that's when Super Bowl is. So we thought, let's pull together the coolest Super Bowl party that anybody's ever seen.
We run a lot of events in the summer, Sand Jam, a beach volleyball tournament on the waterfront, and a few other things. And we haven't had anything in the January, February time frame, and we're all football fans in the office, so we just started talking about wouldn't it be great to have a football Super Bowl party and bring tailgating, which isn't really done in Canada, to Halifax. And this is what came about from it.
This kind of all got the ball rolling about 6 months ago. Is that how long it takes to get sponsors on board and plan an event like this?
Yeah, you know, most events would take longer than that. We're pretty lucky in that we know a lot of the corporate sponsors in the community. So after a few phone calls, we were able to determine if we had the support, and some folks liked it, ORegans, Labatt, through Bud Light, Pepsi, and they all kind of liked the idea and liked the concept, so we were off and running.
So why the Cunard Centre?
Large venue. You know, we've got seats here for about 520 today, and they have a great space out front that we're able to do the tailgate. So it was both the tailgate space and the indoor space that it was a sell.
We do a lot of work with RCR Hospitality, who run the building. They've helped us out with our catering for many of our outdoor events, so we have a great relationship with them, and it just seemed to make a lot of sense to be the venue to come to.
Awesome. So we've got a Madden 13 tournament going on
Yes.
today. What made you want to include a gaming component as a part of the event?
Well, when we came up with the concept of the event, we thought it would be combining a sports bar and being in your buddy's basement. So it was trying to combine all of the best things of both of those. So we've got beer on tap, we've got great barbecue from Q Barbecue, we've got video games, we've got washer toss, we've got foosball. It's like the ultimate place to watch a game.
Cornbread and everything. I feel like I'm in New Orleans. Are you a gamer yourself?
I'm not. I was years ago.
What did you play?
Well, I remember playing NFL Madden back when I was in university, but that was 15 years ago or so. So I'm not up to speed with the current gaming, but I've got 2 young boys, so I'm sure I have to get my acting gear soon so that I can play against them.
Now, what games would you play aside from maybe Madden?
I'm a Call of Duty player. I'm an Xbox Call of Duty man. That's me.
Is this the first of its kind here in Halifax?
As far as we know, we, what's different is we were able to do a tailgate component while working within the AGD's regulations for licensing spaces. So certainly very different from a lot of places in the United States where you can just pull up in the parking lot at the stadium, open your trunk, crack open a few beers, and then hit into the game. We've licensed our area, and we've done it in a way that keeps us within the letter of the law in Nova Scotia.
So what do you think for next year? Would you like to do something like this again for the next Super Bowl?
I would love to, yeah. You know, we've had a very successful first-year event. We're expecting about 500 people to be here when the game kicks off. So, you know, for a first-year event in Halifax, that's quite good. The weather cooperates, you know. If the rain turns to snow, I think we'll have a great afternoon.
So, Sports and Entertainment Atlantic, where can people find you online to learn more about the events that you do?
Yeah, we're at scatlantic.ca, and you can go there, visit our website. We also have event websites set up for everything that we do. So if it's the Sand Jam Beach Volleyball Tournament, if last year we did a concert on George's Island, we do a fundraising event called the Manathlon. Just Google those events or Google us at Sports and Entertainment Atlantic and you come and learn more.
All right, we're here with Henry Whitfield, and he is the host of the sports show on CKDU. He's also going to be casting the finals for the Madden 13 tournament here today. Henry, tell us a little bit about what goes into calling play-by-play for a sports event.
Well, it's a lot of pre-work going on, but I mean, you just need a passion for sports, really. Every kid's dream is to grow up and be a sportscaster, so I mean, you just put in as much as you love it, and it works out in the end.
So, how would you prepare for an upcoming sports event?
Well, I mean, it's as simple as getting rosters, but I mean, digging up the statistics, digging up the players' background, and as you follow a sport, you really get to know the players, the families, even some of the fans, and some of the greatest stories we've had is just connecting with fans.
So you're calling the finals for the Madden tournament today. Do you play Madden yourself?
A little bit. I used to back in maybe the 2010 era. I'm a Raiders fan, so I mean, I try and stay away from anywhere that people can bring up I'm a Raiders fan, really.
So how did you come about getting involved in the event here today?
Today, I mean, just a couple phone calls. I've been involved in a couple events here at the Cunard Centre before, and I guess the local sportscasting scene is a small one. So, I mean, I got the opportunity to come out and talk about video games, and who doesn't love to do that, especially when you're into sports.
So what would be the difference, you think, between providing commentary for a video game versus a live event?
I mean, for a live event, it's all about the atmosphere. There's a great atmosphere here today, so that's going to definitely help. But I definitely think you're not in the event as much as you would be at a live event. So I think it's just filling it in, and it's going to be an interesting day, that's for sure.
And what video games are you playing?
I'm big into FIFA. I mean, I grew up in England, so a lot of European sports. I mean, I also play a little bit of cricket on the PlayStation, so I mean, that might be a little off the wall.
Any system that tells you to take a break in 30 minutes, you probably shouldn't be playing.